Looking for a world-class mortgage product that allows you to own residential and commercial buildings? Look no further than Kimisitu Sacco's Makao Halisi. You can access affordable housing products that meet your needs. A member can get financing for a maximum of 7 times their deposits. Get 105% financing for your dream home today. For more, email us on customercare@kimisitusacco.or.ke. Kimisitu Sacco Limited, your partner to prosperity.
We can just jump back into the conversation that we were having. The topic was investment through Chamas. And maybe Esther can be able to continue to tell us more about how women can be able to invest in a Chama and what are the benefits of even getting an investment through a Chama.
Okay. Maybe I will start by asking, is there a best investment? And what is best? Best, we could say it could be relative. However, by being in a Chama by itself, that is a best investment which one can think of. And in a Chama, we are looking at, there are many minds that have come together. There are many individuals who have come together with an aim or with a goal of forming a Chama, meaning there are diversified ideas that have come in and risks are spread all across. Take an example, if I was to invest in a property of 10 million as an individual, investment is all about risks, and for you to be a good investor, you must also be a risk taker, I must say. So if I invest probably in a property of say 10 million as an individual, and maybe later down the road, maybe no due diligence was properly done and I realized I was duped, it will be easy for me to be hospitalized with pressure having lost 10 million. But look, if you have a Chama of maybe 50 people and the 10 million is spread out, the impact and the significance of it affecting an individual is quite minimal. And that's why I'm saying by having a Chama is the best investment one could ever think of. As also portfolios are diversified, the members could think of spreading out their investments in terms of either in money markets or in savings, like the Sacco has a good savings of Ekeza. You can also save, if it is with a Kimisitu Sacco, with a fixed deposit, where it also earns interest. We can also think of, even you can buy property. You can talk of land, you can talk of housing, where you can opt even as a group or a Chama to either build or even to buy, to speculate and wait for capital gain for that property to appreciate and dispose it at a later time with a good value, which again also it will be return, or it will be a good return coming back to the Chama. We are also looking at investing in shares, like being a Kimisitu Sacco member, they have share capital. Being a Kimisitu PLC, we also have shares. We also have shares floated at the stock exchange. So by the Chama coming together, they are spreading out they are having a portfolio, or like a variety of investments which they can look into. How have they come up with their bylaws? Do they have a constitution that regulates their operations? Not like a Juakali way how they do things, because it will be easy for one just to manipulate and take advantage of the rest of the members. And education empowerment, if they are also educated and informed about how they can make use of the monies they have saved or the investments they have, it will also help the Chama to be financially, educationally empowered, even in making out their decisions. We are also looking at, within the Chama, would there be segregation of duties? I mean, members are given different roles. There is a treasurer, there is a secretary, there is a chairperson. If it is conducted in that way, and also they have the AGMs where they read their reports and they conduct, and I mean, everyone will be accountable. And also transparency. Every month, how where are we heading to? What are the objectives? What are the goals that the Chama has set up for their Chama in terms of, at the end of this period of time, what do we want to achieve? And maybe on an annual or on a quarterly basis, do they sit and appraise themselves and see this is where we are and this is what we need to achieve?
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, Esther. You've actually given us a lot of insight on how Chamas can be able to invest. And I'd like to go back to Nyambura. You had a very interesting topic about online Chamas. I'd like you to at least say something about that.
Well, I'd say this. I think for me and everyone of us, especially for women, and I'm glad this conversation is about how women can leverage the opportunities of Chama, is that because women organize informally, I think, and there has been a rise of financial institutions trying to formalize Chamas. There are also people who've taken advantage of these opportunities where we have women being lured into online Chamas where serious amount, I would say insane amounts of money are being contributed like quickly. We have Chamas. I was telling them there's a Chama that I knew on acquaintance. They used to do 100K every week, which was every Tuesday. And so for them to keep up with that, they had to borrow money from friends. And it got to a place where I think the cumulative was about 1.6, and they're supposed to be buying something big or going for mzigos from Turkey or something of the sort. And the money never came back. This person ran away with the money. The people ran away with the money, and the person ended up, having issues as a person, not without going to the details of it. Now, my point is, I think there are Facebook groups. Sometimes women specifically, are losing a lot of money. Mm-hmm. Hence the need for this conversation. Yeah.
So that's very insightful, and it's very at least informative for the people who have not yet maybe gotten the opportunity to learn about Chamas. So Bernice, I'd like to go back to you again about the sustainability model for Chamas. Like, how do you think they can be able to build like a financial independence for the women and the Chamas? Yeah.
Yeah, so first of all, and I want to build up on what Nyambura talked about, the informalities of Chamas. They might be a hindrance in terms of sustainability. And I think the first thing is to actually formalize these Chamas. And I know of course, there are platforms, the society, the registrar of societies can actually register some of these groups or Chamas to be able to start their sustainability model. But most importantly is to think about, let's go a little bit to the figures. We have over 300,000 Chamas in this country. And they contribute to over 300 billion, to our GDP or economy. But then if you look at it, that most Chamas also depend on, the merry-go-round. Very few actually have investment plans. And when you're talking about sustainability, is people need to see the value of something to be able to continue with that same motivation, that discipline of contributing that money. And when you're talking about sustainability, is to think about how do we ensure that there's a way that even when I'm not there, there's a way my money is being governed, and there's a way my beneficiaries, even when I'm not there, they can be able to benefit. And that goes also to formalizing these Chamas, but also thinking about, and what Esther was talking about, how do we, build, how do we ensure that there is a way that the leadership is in place, but also that these Chamas, they are organizing themselves in a way that they can be able to invest beyond their own thinking, because then Chamas also allow the people, sharing ideas and all that. But also, what I would say in terms of sustainability is that Kimisitu gives an opportunity, and I know also other circles, gives an opportunity for them to be able to invest. But also, Kimisitu is a very organized, it's a it's a company that is very well organized. There's a way you can follow up your money. You can be able to, for example, if you're looking for a loan as a member of the Chama, you can be able to access, for example, MKBC2. There's a way you can quickly access. If maybe the treasurer is not available, when you're informal, the treasurer has to be there to sign off. But if you're in a circle, for example, as a Chama, you can be able to access MKBC2, for example, very quickly on your phone through your Chama account. And of course, your Chama members are able to get that notification and they're able to approve in that sense. So in terms of sustainability, I have also seen members who are very active in contributing. But then how do they build up? Because there's always a question about how do we ensure that it's also very transparent of my ownership of these shares. Mm-hmm. And already when you're in a Chama and then already you're also in a circle, for example, then your shares is very clear that this is your ownership. This is your ownership of those shares in a circle. So I think for me is to say that building the sustainabilities of these Chamas is ensuring that there's clear documentation, there's clear plan, like what Esther was talking about, the strategic plan, but also even when the principal investor is not there, they can be able, their beneficiaries are able to be sort of enrolled into this formal engagement. Because sometimes, like what you're talking about, the online Chamas, there's no formal engagement of ensuring that even when I'm not there, there's no that transition, there's no that smooth transition of being a member there. So I think for me, sustainability is ensuring that there's formalization, but also there's a clear way that you can actually follow up even, whether you're there or not, but also that investment that you put in there can actually benefit yourself and other people within your engagement.
Thank you so much, Benisa. I'm really loving this discussion today about Chamas. So right now, I think maybe we can just be able to give closing remarks so that we can be able to finalize on the discussion today. So maybe Esther, you can give us something small about investment.
Yes, maybe in all this discussion we could be asking ourselves, what are some of the investments that the women Chamas, I know even men who are out there, they could be talking of the boys club, could undertake with Kimisitu Investment PLC. And how we come in as Kimisitu Investment, where we deal with properties. We have opportunities which the Chamas can take advantage of. You can approach us if you're a Chama, and probably if you want to buy maybe a parcel or a property, you give us a description, you can share with us the details. If you have it or you would like it to go through the due diligence process, we take over the process and we give you maybe if it is a certain property in the Chama's name, that one we can take up that assignment, and at a small fee we are able to fast track the due diligence, engage the right service providers if it is the valuers, all the parties which are involved, until to the point where you can have your title in the name of the Chama, and the Kimisitu Investment will come in to charge a small fee at it. We are also looking at, you can take advantage even to purchase shares with Kimisitu PLC. And with purchasing shares, we are a limited company, a public limited company. So by purchasing shares, you have to be a SACCO member. You have that opportunity to invest as a shareholder of Kimisitu PLC. And you get a chance also to enjoy very discounted prices of our products. You also get to enjoy also share dividends at the end of the year when we have our AGM and we declare some dividends. You get to enjoy that as a shareholder of Kimisitu PLC. We are also looking at, it is a work in progress which we are working on, constructing for our members, or even if you have a property, because we have quite a number of our customers either in diaspora or even who are in Kenya, but they feel they don't have the ability to manage and to construct, and they come and tell us, here we have a plot, we would like you to construct for us. So we're in the process of coming up with the modalities of having a panel of a consortium of service providers where we will come in and build your home and make you a home that you can live in and you can stay in. And with all this, we are trying to say Kimisitu PLC is trying to make your life as easy as possible, from acquiring a property or even acquiring a piece of land, hassle-free. You will not struggle at the lands, you will not struggle with any service provider, because Kimisitu PLC will come and step in and help you to walk along that way of investment. Thank you.
Well, I think for me it's twofold. One is to women. I think it's that yesterday when I had a conversation with Bernice and Esther, it is said that women started off Chamas. We were the inventors of Chamas. So it's not fair that we're not leveraging what we actually started. So I think for me it's an encouragement for women groups, or Chamas as we are, to make it formal so that we are able to get the benefits. One, investment, but also the spread of the risk. Secondly, I think for financial institutions like Kimisitu it is very possible to leverage the income that women, especially because women are concentrated on informal sectors. And I think to be able to do baselines, but also touch base in terms of if 65% of businesses are founded by women, which means that women actually start off businesses, but it doesn't not necessarily translate to growth, right? So there are opportunities for women to actually access credit, and maybe revising and having such conversations in terms of conceptualizing what Chamas are is going to go a long way. One, in empowering women economically, but also in having innovative financial products. And so thank you very much for this conversation, because I think we're headed in the right direction in servicing women.
Okay, great. So I think I want to build up on that, saying that it's the reason why we have Chamas is because we want to build our financial capacity. And then our financial capacity is able to put us on a scale that is higher than our own individual. And I think for us is to say that as Kimisitu, we are very much encouraged when we see Chamas, but even more encouraged when you see them join us, to be able to empower them, to be able to give them education, to be able to support them in the processes of and participating in financial engagements, and just to ensure that you young women are empowered. And what I would say is that even as much as you're doing table banking, merry-go-round, think about investments. Think about investing even in Kimisitu, share capital, for example. At the end of the year, you get your dividends. You are able to get even to be able to scale up your own investment. So I think I want to really encourage all the Chamas out there. Kimisitu is a place to be. We are happy to have you on board. Please register your Chama account. You only need, I think, your registration of the certificate of registration, of course, your IDs, and a minimum entrance fee of 2,000 shillings. And of course, minimum contribution of 10,000 per month. And we are happy to have you, walk with you through this journey, and to ensure that you're not losing your money in informal engagement. Let's formalize Chamas, because that is the way. Remember, when you formalize, you are able to scale up your ability to access capital. Thank you.
So we'll just go for a short break for around 2 minutes, and then we'll be back again. So please stay tuned. We'll be able to come back again and engage in the conversation.
Looking for a world-class mortgage product that allows you to own residential and commercial buildings? Look no further than Kimisitu Sacco's Makao Halisi. You can access affordable housing products that meet your needs. A member can get financing for a maximum of 7 times their deposits. Get 105% financing for your dream home today. For more, email us on customercare@kimisitusacco.or.ke. Kimisitu Sacco Limited, your partner to prosperity.
So much for tuning back in. We had taken a short break, so we've been having a few questions which are coming in. So I'll pick up the first question from one of our viewers, and I'll direct it to Nyambura. The question was, how are women chamas conceptualized and how are they formed in Kenya? So someone wanted to find out the process.
Well, I think that's a very good question, but I think all of us kind of know how chamas are formed or conceptualized in Kenya. I think the first time we realized chamas is either because your mother had visitors on Saturday, and they would go outside, sit with seats, and they would come with vikombe za kaulo, or sufurias or something of the sort. And that is how our first conception of chamas is so merry-go-rounds. And then we had welfare chamas, where now, because in our societies, women tend to hold, burials, weddings, births. So we had, again, our mothers and our aunties who used to contribute money around rotationally. So if someone has a child who's going to school, if there's a burial, if there's a hospital bill, so those were welfare chamas. But now, as women enter the workforce and we have disposable income and we don't just have, small income, women started doing what we call the microfinance chamas, where we pull together money so that you can access credit, but also invest, right? So as we know now, I think we still have merry-go-rounds, but mostly I think the chamas that we speak about and we see, especially women who are younger and who are in the workspace now, whether formally or informally, is the microfinance chamas. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for that insight. And now maybe I'll move on to what are the benefits of maybe having an investment with the SACCO. Seeing a question here. Someone is asking land and housing. What can Chama be able to give you that? So maybe Esther, you can pick that first.
Investing with a SACCO, or I'm starting from Kimisitu SACCO. If you can have even the account, as Bernice had mentioned, have a savings with them. And where we come in with land and housing, thank God for this relationship. We have a cordial relationship with the Kimisitu SACCO, which is also our sister company, sister organization. We are looking at, we will work with the SACCO in ensuring you have, if it is a property, and once you get a property, we will carry out the due diligence. We can liaise with the SACCO if you can have even that title for that property to even be like a collateral that you can use to get funding. Or if you have another property that you can place with the SACCO as collateral, where now you can even get a loan from the SACCO. It can be a normal development or a Makao Halisi. They do the processing, and finances are credited to our account, and we are able to facilitate and to ensure that you have the property. In terms of housing, also when we come in, if we shall be building, currently we're in the process of building, we're in the process of working around building units for our SACCO members and also for our shareholders and even the general public. So in a case where we shall even come to build houses for the SACCO members or for our shareholders or even the general public, we are looking at, we are providing you an investment pool, or where you can be getting a rental income. You can either place the unit as an Airbnb, you can even rent it out to get your monthly rental income. So however how the Chama can work around to see what asset, is it the house, is it the land, that if they acquire, if it is through the Kimisitu PLC, of course also with the financial empowerment from the Kimisitu SACCO, it will even make your work easier in having that property, and the Chama also will be able to generate even more income, and even in future use even that collateral to even refinance more projects, because the world keeps evolving and investments never stop ending. So come in, also get another refinancing, and also once you build a relationship with the SACCO, I believe even as a Chama, you will even be sitting on the table even to discuss on the terms or on how they can consider you as a Chama in terms of financing whatever asset. And the good thing, what I picked from Kimisitu SACCO, if the Chama has if they have a valid project which they want to do, the SACCO can finance 100%. that is a very, very ideal thing, which I picked even from the circle. And it's something even I would encourage the chamas which are out there. If you can even come, even if you are an informal chama, you haven't been registered. Good thing also the circle can walk you through the registration. And once even you join in and you have your project, if you have, like I mentioned about a strategic plan, written down goals, knowing where you want to go to. If it's something you have cited, maybe Kimisitu PLC has floated maybe a house of some certain kind of value, and your savings are with the circle. Coming to the circle for them to finance that project, as a chama, it will be a good plus for you because they have seen your history of your savings with them, and of course they will look at also the ability in terms of the deposits that you make as a chama.
Okay, maybe Esther, another question on the land.
Yes.
Someone here is asking, how can you tell that the land is not fake?
There are some certain processes we do as a company, and I must thank our board and also the management of Kimisitu PLC in terms of the due diligence that we conduct. Once a land is identified, we don't rush to start engaging in any transactions. There is a process that has to go through, which even for us as a company, because we buy, like if it is bulk, it takes like a month or two. We are not in a rush, but we ensure we engage if it is the service providers, if it is the surveyor, to go confirm what is in the title, what is on the ground, what is at the lands office, if it is at the house, if it is at the lands registry. We have every documentation checked, even to the point of mutation, to ensure the size of that land, it is what is being sold to us. And severally, there are properties also which have been floated to us, but when we carry out the due diligence together with our lawyers who are also in our panel, we have been able to identify some questions which cannot really add up, and we cannot go through the process of even finalizing a transaction. So it is very important for due diligence to be conducted, valuation of that property to be conducted, so that even when you are discussing with the vendor, you understand the value you are negotiating with. And once you have all that information at your disposal, you're in a good position to transact for that property.
Okay. Thank you so much, Esther. I think that one was very well expounded. And maybe to Nyambura, I have another question here. So someone is asking, does the number of people in a chama matter? Like, do we have to be many? Do we have to be like 3 people?
I would let both Mbuki and Ongera expound on that. But I think for formal chamas and in terms of the entry point to Kimisitu. But I think for chamas, no, I don't think so. I mean, it depends with what your goal is and what you're working towards, and also contributions, right? The nitty-gritties of why you formed and what we call the mutual assistance, you know, and the rotational basis, however you want to go. Because the people who don't like for informal chamas, the people who don't want to wait for the 10th person so that they can get money, right? But also, maybe when you're many, when you get the money, it will be $1 million. Yeah. So it depends with what your needs are. But I would want to hear what they weigh in terms of, you know, when we formalize the chamas, what are the requirements and what is the best way to
maybe Dennis can pick that up for the requirements.
Yeah, so in terms of the number, I think I would also build on that. I think also is what is the intended purpose of forming that chama, because then you are able to identify what's the goal, how many members do we need for this. But if, for example, it's for investment, the bigger the merrier. Remember I talked about chamas are basically an informal cooperative. Informal cooperative, the same as the circle, because for us, the more members you have, the more share capital you have, the more you can be able to do with the capital and all. But as I said, as Nyambura has talked about, if maybe it's for merry-go-round, maybe you don't want to wait for too long for the round to come actually back to you. But if you're talking about long-term investment, especially, it's better if you're many, because then you are able to pull resources. And also just what Esther talked about, when you're many, the risk is spread out. Yeah, so then that allows you to be able to invest, have that courage to be able to take risks. If it's a good deal, then you get a very good return. But then if it's maybe didn't work out very well, then the loss doesn't go to very few members. So yeah, I would say depends on the goal and the purpose of that chama. Yes.
So I believe our discussion today has been really very fruitful. I've expounded a lot about chamas, how women can be able to benefit, buying property, getting the chance to be able to maybe invest in something that can give you a longer return in the long run. So this is going to be a weekly event that we'll be having discussions with the circle. So maybe I can just be able to close first for the topic today. So thank you so much, Banis. Thank you so much, Nyambura. Thank you, Esther, for coming, making the time to come here today. And this has been very fruitful, and I hope everyone has been able to benefit from the discussion today. So we'll close at that, our discussion for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Asante.